Have you ever felt like life's become a relentless whirlwind? A constant barrage of notifications, deadlines, and just stuff? You're not alone. We all crave that feeling, that sense of deep calm, a quiet harbor within the storm. It's what we often call inner peace. But what exactly is this elusive inner peace? Is it some mystical state reserved for gurus on mountaintops? Or is it something tangible, something we can actually cultivate in our everyday lives, even amidst the chaos? Buddha once said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." Think about it. In our hyper-connected, always-on world, finding a genuine sense of stillness can feel like a distant dream. Our lives are often overflowing with commitments, anxieties, and the never-ending pursuit of the next thing. It's like trying to find a quiet corner in a bustling marketplace. But what if that quiet corner isn't a place we need to find out there, but rather a space we can learn to access within ourselves? A steady, supportive place that's always accessible, no matter what's going on around us. Imagine this. You've had a tough day at work. Everything that could go wrong did. You get home, and the house is a mess, your family is bickering, and all you want is a moment of quiet. But it feels impossible, right? That feeling of being overwhelmed, of your inner state mirroring the outer turmoil. That's the opposite of inner peace. So, how do we bridge that gap? How do we learn to tap into that quieter space, even when the world outside feels like it's spinning out of control? To understand how to cultivate inner peace, it helps to take a peek under the hood, so to speak. Let's talk about your brain. This incredible organ, weighing about the same as a block of tofu, contains trillions of cells, including around 100 billion neurons. Now, these neurons aren't just sitting there idly, they're constantly communicating with each other through connections called synapses. Think of it like a vast, intricate network where information is being passed around at lightning speed. Every thought, every feeling, every sensation triggers a flurry of activity within this network. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It truly motivates us to keep creating more content like this just for you. And this brings us to the concept of the mind. In a broad sense, your mind encompasses all that information whizzing around in your brain, most of which we're not even consciously aware of. This includes everything from the signals that govern your stress response to your memories, your personality, your hopes, and even the understanding of the words you're hearing right now. The crucial point here is that what happens in your mind changes your brain, both temporarily and in lasting ways. It's a two-way street. Your brain shapes your mind, and you can use your mind to reshape your brain for the better. Neurons that fire together, wire together, it's a fundamental principle of how our brains learn and adapt. Buddha's words aren't just philosophy. They're instructional. Peace comes from within. That means it's a skill, something you build, like strength, like discipline, like compassion. This understanding is powerful because it means we're not just passive recipients of our thoughts and feelings. We have the capacity to influence our own neural pathways, to cultivate patterns of thought and feeling that lead towards greater peace and well-being. You don't need a neuroscience degree to observe your own experiences and start making these changes. But, if we have this capacity, why does inner peace often feel so out of reach? Well, part of the answer lies in our evolutionary history. Our brains have evolved primarily for survival, and this has equipped us with some incredibly effective but sometimes uncomfortable strategies. Think about it, our ancestors lived in a world filled with real, immediate threats. The ability to quickly detect danger, to worry about potential problems, and to seek out pleasure, like food and safety, was crucial for passing on their genes. These survival strategies, while great for staying alive, can lead to suffering in our modern world. Our tendency to constantly scan for threats can translate into chronic anxiety. Our desire for pleasure can lead to endless chasing and dissatisfaction when those pleasures are fleeting. Essentially, our brains are wired to keep us on high alert, to constantly simulate potential dangers and desires in what we might call our internal simulator. This simulator replays upsetting events from the past, strengthening the neural links to those painful feelings. It also forecasts worrisome events in the future, most of which never even happen. The rewards we imagine often aren't as intense in reality, and the disasters we anticipate are usually milder and briefer than our minds predict. This constant mental simulation can keep us trapped in cycles of worry and dissatisfaction, hindering our ability to find inner peace. So, how do we step off this hamster wheel of mental simulation? One powerful approach is mindfulness. Now, mindfulness isn't about emptying your mind or achieving some blank state. Instead, it's about paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, and non-judgmentally. Think of your mind as a pond. Thoughts and feelings are like the reflections on the surface. Usually we get caught up in the reflections, identifying with them, letting them stir up the water. Mindfulness is about learning to observe the reflections without getting swept away by them, recognizing them as just temporary appearances on the surface of the calm water beneath. This practice allows us to become more aware of our thoughts and feelings as they arise, without automatically reacting to them. We start to see the patterns in our thinking, the beliefs that drive our anxieties, and the way our minds can create stories that aren't necessarily true. The journey towards inner peace isn't just about being present, it also involves cultivating certain qualities. The sources highlight virtue, mindfulness, and wisdom as fundamental pillars of everyday well-being. Mindfulness, as we've discussed, is about paying attention to the present moment. Virtue is about living from your innate goodness, guided by principles. It involves maintaining a balance that is centered around healthy aims and staying within healthy boundaries. Wisdom involves understanding the nature of reality, seeing things clearly, and making choices that lead to well-being for ourselves and others. These three pillars are interconnected. Mindfulness helps us to observe our actions and intentions, fostering virtue. And through both mindfulness and virtuous living, we cultivate wisdom. So, what can you actually do to start cultivating more inner peace in your life? Here are a few practical approaches drawn from the sources. Practice mindful communication. Pay attention to your intentions when you speak. Aim to say only what is well-intended, true, beneficial, timely, and expressed without harshness or malice. Consider adopting the principle of not speaking or acting out of anger, which can force you to slow down and address the real underlying issues. Develop a personal code of conduct. Think about the virtues you want to embody in your relationships and in your life. Write down a personal code of unilateral relationship virtues, do's and don'ts that resonate with you and motivate you. This could be as simple as listen more, talk less, or be loving. Visualize yourself acting according to this code, no matter what happens, and take in the good feelings that arise when you do. Communicate effectively. When interacting with others, stay in touch with your deeper feelings and wants. Clarify your aims in the interaction. What do you truly need? Communicate primarily for yourself, focusing on expressing your truth rather than trying to control the other person's response. Be mindful of your tone and avoid fault-finding or inflammatory language. When you speak, focus on your own experience, your emotions, body sensations, and underlying hopes, rather than just talking about events and your opinions about them. Abide as awareness. As your mindfulness practice deepens, you may start to experience resting more and more as awareness itself. Awareness is like a screen on which all your mental content, thoughts, feelings, sensations register. While these mind objects may be constantly changing, awareness itself remains undisturbed. Recognizing this underlying awareness can bring a profound sense of peace and stability. It's important to remember the profound wisdom in the saying, "Peace comes from within, do not seek it without." While external circumstances can certainly influence our mood, true and lasting inner peace is something we cultivate from the inside out. Even in the face of difficult circumstances, it is possible to maintain inner peace. Think of the Buddhist concept of not allowing ill will to take root in your mind, even if faced with extreme adversity. This highlights the power of our inner response, regardless of the external situation. Mindfulness has become increasingly popular, and for good reason. It has been integrated into various therapeutic programs and shown to have numerous benefits. However, it's also important to be aware of some of the nuances and potential pitfalls. Some critics caution against what they call mindfulness, where mindfulness is stripped of its ethical and spiritual roots and used merely as a tool for productivity or stress reduction, potentially reinforcing self-centeredness. It's a reminder that the deeper benefits of mindfulness often arise when practiced with a sense of ethical awareness and a genuine desire for inner transformation. Cultivating inner peace is not an overnight transformation. It's a gradual process of learning, practicing, and building new neural pathways. Small positive actions taken consistently over time will add up to significant changes. Be patient and kind to yourself on this journey. It's about progress, not perfection. So there you have it. Inner peace isn't some unattainable ideal. It's a state we can learn to cultivate by understanding the workings of our minds, practicing mindfulness, embodying virtuous qualities, and communicating with intention and kindness. It's about recognizing the constant activity of our minds but learning not to be ruled by every passing thought and feeling. It's about finding that still center within, that quiet harbor that remains steady even when the storms of life rage around us. What small step can you take today to cultivate a little more inner peace in your life? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more insights on well-being.